Today we will be exploring 7 critical approaches in literary theory. First is a Marxism, followed by feminism, formalism, ego-criticism, reader response, romanticism, and biographical. These approaches provide unique frameworks for interpreting literature, each offering insights into different aspects of text. For instance, Marxism examines the influence of class and power, while feminism sheds light on gender role and equality. Formalism focuses on structure and style, while reader response centers on the reader's interpretation. Ego-criticism examines literature's relationship with the environment. Romanticism highlights individual emotion and imagination. And biographical connects the work of authors' personal life. With that overview, let's dive into each approach and begin our discussion.
The first critical approach is Marxism. Marxism is a social, political, and economic theory originated by Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels. At its core, it analyzes the historical development of societies through the lens of class struggle, focusing on the conflict between bourgeoisie and proletariat.
Ang Huling El Bimbo is a Filipino musical that tells the story of 3 college friends named Hector, Eman, and Anthony. They all went to the same college and had many fun adventures together. One sunny day, they met a kind and joyful girl named Joy. Joy was always smiling and full of energy, and she quickly became their best friend. The 4 friends spent their days laughing, playing, and supporting each other. They were like a big happy family. Hector loved to draw, Eman always talking about cars, and Anthony had passion for music. Joy loved to dance and had big dreams of her own. Together, they create beautiful memories. They went on picnics, watched movies, and even had study sessions where they helped each other with their homework. One day, a very sad event happened. Joy was hurt very badly by some bad people. They made her very sad and scared, and it also made her friend feel helpless and upset. Because of this terrible event, the friends started to drift apart. They stopped spending their time together and went their separate ways. Hector focused on his drawing, Eman worked with cars, and Anthony pursued his love for music. Joy, on the other hand, faced many challenges and hard work.
Many years passed as the friends grew up and went on the different paths in life. One day, they received a very sad news. Joy has passed away. This news was a heavy blow to Hector, Eman, and Anthony. They felt a deep sadness but also realized that they had to come together to remember Joy. As they reunited, they talked about the happy memories they shared with Joy. They remembered her dancing, her laughter, and the bright light she brought into their lives. They also thought about the choices they made and the things they could have done differently. Through their tears and smiles, they realized how much joy meant to them and how important it was to cherish the time that they had together. The story of Ang Huling El Bimbo is about the strong friendship between Hector, Eman, Anthony, and Joy. It teaches us about love, lose, and how important it is to support each other, especially in tough times. It is a tale of remembering the good times and learning from the past, all while holding on the precious memories of loved ones.
In Marxism, manipulation, poverty, and power are key concepts that explain class struggle. The capitalist class or bourgeoisie manipulates society's ideas and institutions to justify its control. This manipulation creates poverty for workers by exploiting their labor for profit, keeping them dependent and powerless. Power, rooted in economic control, allows the ruling class to reinforce the system, preventing the working class from challenging their dominance. These dynamics maintain inequality, which Marx saw as the basis for revolutionary change. In Ang Huling El Bimbo, the musical, the themes of manipulation, poverty, and power converge in Joy's life, portraying the harsh realities of exploitation. Banlao, an influential figure, manipulates Joy by taking advantage of her poverty, making her dependent on him and limiting her options. Joy's economic hardships keep her trapped in vulnerable circumstances where she lacks control, reflecting how poverty and limited choices can leave individuals open to exploitation. Belong's power over joy demonstrates how those with influence often shape the lives of the marginalized, keeping them in cycles of dependency. Through Joy's story, the musical powerfully highlights the impact of manipulation, the grip of poverty, and the abuse of power, revealing a profound message about the long-lasting scars of trauma and societal inequality.
Feminism is the belief and advocacy for gender equality, specifically focusing on achieving social, political, and economic equality for women. It involves challenging and addressing the systems, structures, and cultural norms that have historically oppressed women and marginalized genders. Feminism seeks to ensure that all individuals, regardless of their gender, have equal rights, opportunities, and treatment in society. While it originally focused on women's rights, modern feminism often embraces intersectionality, considering how two factors like race, class, sexuality, and other identities intersect with gender of affect people's experiences of inequality. Feminism isn't just about advocating for women, but about advocating for a society where all people, regardless of gender, can live freely and equally.
The poem entitled A Woman Speaks by Audre Lorde, it celebrates the unique power of Black women's voices while also lamenting their underrepresentations and a powerful expressions of a woman's identity and strength. The speaker, a woman of color, asserts long-standing womanhood and warns against underestimating her. She possesses both ancient magic and contemporary power, a combination that defies expectations. Despite promises future opportunities, she remains grounded in her identity as a woman of color, refusing to be defined by societal norms and expectations.
Feminism can be connected to three words, which are equality, empowerment, and rights. Feminism is about making sure women have the same opportunities and rights as men. It's about equality in all areas of life like education, jobs, and pay. And also equality believes that women and men should be treated equally. This means having the same rights, opportunities, and respect. It's about empowering women to make their own choices and live their lives freely. Lastly, women has rights like the right to vote, the right to own property, and the right to be free from violence. From the poem by Audre Lorde, A Woman Speaks, directly connects to feminist approaches by highlighting intersectionality of race and gender, challenging the idea that all women share the same struggles. The poem aligns with feminist approaches or feminism approaches by challenging patriarchy, celebrating women's strength, and demanding equality, particularly from poor Black women. The poem's themes of race and gender, power and agency, and claiming space all contribute to its feminist message.
Romanticism is a way of looking at things that emphasize emotions, imagination, and individual experience. Romanticism value how we feel about things over just facts and logic. It's about connecting with our emotion and letting them guide us. Romanticism also celebrates creativity and the power of our imagination. It encourages us to explore new ideas and see the world in a unique way.
Robert Rowe's poem, The Road Not Taken, is about a person standing a crossroad, having to choose between two different paths. Each path represents a choice in life, and once the choice is made, it's hard to go back and take the other path. The speaker carefully considered both options, noticing that one seems less traveled and perhaps more unique. After choosing this less traveled path, the speaker reflects that this decision has had a significant impact on their life. Overall, the poems remind us that our choices shape our lives, even though we may never know what might have happened that had we chosen differently. The sight and the end of suggests a mix of feelings, maybe pride, maybe a hint of regret, but ultimately it's the choice we make that define us.
Critical analysis of romanticism. It's exploring the movement of intensity. Romanticism is a multi-faceted and influential movement that swept across Europe and Americans, examining the youth, examining the characteristic, exploring the strength and weaknesses by analyzing enduring legacy.
Formalism in literary criticism is like looking at a book's structure and how it's put together to understand its meaning. Instead of focusing on what the story is about, formalism tries to understand what the story does and how it works.
Formalism literary piece. Hope is a thing with feathers. Emily Dixon's poem Hope is a Thing with Feathers describes hope as a little bird that lives in our souls. The bird sings a song of comfort and encouragement that never stops no matter what we go through. Hope is especially comforting during difficult times when it's needed the most. Even in the harshest situations like strong storms, cold places, giving us strength and despite how much it helps us, hope never asks for anything in return. In short, the poem is about how hope is gentle, constant source of strength within us, helping us through life's challenges and without expecting anything back.
In The Road Not Taken, Robert Frost employs a formalist approach, masterfully integrating symbolism, figurative language, and objective exploration to create a rich, introspective poem. Symbolism is evident in the road, representing individuality and uncertainty, and the fork symbolizing decision-making, while the wood and leaves evoke the unknown. Nature and changes figurative language include metaphor, I took the one less traveled by, and personification, the road wanted where, conveys choices, complexities, cross-objective examination of human experience, conveyed through formal structure and musical language, highlights artistic autonomy and the significance of personal experience. By intertwining the elements, Frost encouraged close reading, showcasing symbolism power and creates different exploration of choice, amplifying formalism principles.
Reader response is a way of understanding and interpreting a piece of writing based on how it makes the reader feel and think. Instead of focusing only on what the author meant, it emphasizes the personal feelings, thought, and experience a reader brings to that text. In simple terms, it's about how you react to a story or an article and what it means to you personally. Each reader can have different responses and based on their own background and feelings.
The poem Green Buddhas conveys the idea that people tend to prefer the pleasant aspect of life while avoiding the challenging ones. The metaphor of the Green Buddha, observing us among various fruits, symbolizes wisdom and awareness in the face of life's experiences. The poem serves as a reminder that life consists of both joy and adversity, and we cannot selectively choose only the favorable parts.
From the reader response perspective interpretation of the poem Green Buddhas, this approach emphasizes how each reader brings their own experiences, emotions, and perceptions into the interpretation process, meaning that the poem's meaning can shift depending on individuals' perspectives. The point of view of the poem observes human behavior and experiences, highlighting the tendency of people to focus on the positive aspects. The poem Green Buddhas of the fruit stand, we eat the smile and spit out the teeth is a subjective expression as it employs symbolism. Interpreting the Green Buddha, smile and teeth requires personal connections. Uses metamorphical language. Eating the smile and spitting out the teeth are subjective experiences. Evokes emotions. The poem's imagery and themes trigger individual emotional response.
Biographical is a detailed description or account of someone's life, highlighting various aspects such as their background, upbringing, personal life, achievements, struggles, and significant events. It often refers to details and events from person's life, such as where they were born, their family, education, career, and other important aspects of their journey.
Song for a Dark Girl by Langston Hughes is a sad poem that talks about a black person who loses its loved ones by seeing its body hanging and full of bruises, thinking that the world is cruel and even a prayer wouldn't do. Emphasizing the word black lover and white God, it's because they're also questioning why God's skin is white. Supposedly, black people are the ones who are suffering, not the white.
The poem represents the hardship of the lives of the Black people in the past due to discrimination. But despite the situation, they remain strong and they fight for their rights.
A Song for a Dark Girl is a poem by Langston Hughes that reflects on life experiences, particularly those Black Americans during a time of deep racial injustice. The poem serves a meaningful memory capturing the pain and sorrow faced by individuals who have been affected by systematic racism and violence, by telling the story of a young dark-skinned girl and her tragic circumstances. Hughes draws attention to the struggles in her life and the broader fight for social justice, making it a powerful representation of the emotional and historical realities of that time.
Eco-criticism is a way of analyzing literature that examines the relationship between human and the natural environment. It looks at how nature, the environment, and ecological issues are represented in literary works and considers how literature can shape our understanding and attitudes towards nature.
Story about the legend of Maria Cacao. The legend of Maria Cacao is a story about a beautiful nymph named Maria Cacao who lived on the highest mountain of Argao within the mystical cave of Lantoy. She was known for her generosity and kindness towards the villagers. Maria Cacao could come down from her mountain during full moons, lending out items for celebrations. Maria Cacao said, "Good people of Argao, I'm happy to help you celebrate life's moments. Remember, just take good care of the things I lend you and return them when you're done." And Maria Cacao traveling her golden ship to her cacao in distant lands. When an engineer wanted to build a new bridge in Argao, concerns arose about Maria Cacao's golden ship potentially damage it. The engineer respectfully asked for her to avoid passing the river, to which Maria Cacao agreed out of consideration for the people's safety. As time passed, the villagers missed Maria Cacao's presence, realizing that some individuals had not returned what they borrowed from her, leading to her decisions to stop lending her belongings. Despite her absence, the legend of Maria Cacao continued, emphasizing the importance of kindness, respect, and the consequences of taking generosity for granted. A critical analysis of eco-critical perspective, the legend of Maria Cacao highlights the intersection of female power, culture, and myths by presenting a woman who governs and protects the cacao trees. A key natural resource, a female figure with control over the land, Maria Cacao subverts traditional gender roles, showcasing female strength and authority in a domain often dominated by men. Culturally, the myth reflects the values of community that reverse nature, seeing the cacao trees not just as a resource but a sacred, symbolizing a deep respect for environment. Through this myth, Maria Cacao embodies the belief that women, as natures and protectors, plays a central role in maintaining harmony between humans and nature. Thus, the legend intertwines themes of female empowerment and ecological wisdom, emphasizing the importance of sustainable practices and cultural stewardship.
Sum up ideas in Marxism is all about the struggle between the ruling class and the working class. Muling El Bimbo is a musical play that explore societal issues like inequality, disconnection, and false hopes, urging viewers to question and challenge these flaws and personality, positive change, and awareness. In summary, feminism is the woman's empowerment of equality in all areas of life. In the poem A Woman Speaks by Audre Lorde, feminism is essential because it advocates for women's rights to self-determination, the breaking down of world exercise towards women, along with the realization of the complicated intersecting forces that shape women's experiences. Moreover, the poem serves as the call to action for all women, embrace their power and challenge the structures that seeks to suppress them.
The overall of formalist approach. Formalism is literary criticism focuses on analyzing a text, structure, and techniques to understand how it creates meaning. Instead of emphasizing the story's content, formalism examines how the story functions and impacts the reader by studying elements like language, sentence, arrangement, and narrative style.
In Emily Dickinson's poem Hope is a thing with feathers, formalists will focus how hope is portrayed as a bird living within the soul, providing strength through comforting song-like imagery. The bird's unending song, even in harsh conditions, presents hope's resilience and selfness. The overall of Romanticism approach. Romanticism was an artistic and intellectual movement that began in Europe in the late 18th century and flourished in 19th century. It emphasized intense emotions, individualism, and a deep connection to nature as a creation against the Industrial Revolution and the Enlightenment's emphasis on reason and order. Romanticism celebrates the beauty of the natural world, the power of imagination, and the depth of human emotion. Key elements of Romanticism include appreciation for beauty, reverence for nature, exploration of the supernatural, and an emphasis on personal freedom. The poem symbolizes life choices and decisions, representing the impact of seemingly small or ambiguous. The poem symbolizes life's choices and decisions, representing the impact of seemingly small or ambiguous choices in our lives. The role of the speaker choices reflects individuality and personal freedom, key elements of Romanticism.
Sum up the Green Buddha poems. Green Buddha poems uses reader-response theory to show how each reader personal experience shape their interpretation. The poem reflects on human nature and our tendency to focus on the positive, symbolize the line, we eat, the smile, and spit out the teeth. Truth, symbolism, and metaphor, like the Green Buddha, smile and teeth, readers find personal meaning in both joy and challenge. The poem's imagery also evokes unique emotional response, inviting each person to interpret its themes in their own way. To sum up Langston Hughes' poem, A Song for a Dark Girl, reflects on the pain and sorrow of a young African-American girl facing racial injustice. The poem, through vivid imagery and emotion, highlights the personal and collective struggles of African Americans, particularly in the face of violence and oppression. It blends individual experience with a broader social critique, emphasizing the need for a change and equality. Hughes used the girl's tragic story to advocate for justice, making the poem both a personal memoir and powerful call for social transformation.
In summary, eco-criticism examines how literature reflects the relationship between humans and the environment, focusing on themes like sustainability and nature's role in culture. The legend of Maria Cacao portrays a woman who protects the sacred cacao trees, symbolizing both female empowerment and ecological wisdom. As a powerful female figure, Maria Cacao challenges traditional gender roles and reflects a community's deep respect for nature. Critically, the legend highlights the importance of women in maintaining environmental balance, intertwining themes of gender, culture, and ecological stewardship.
The importance of 7 critical approaches. Deepen their understanding of literature and society by recognizing the historical, cultural, and social context that shape text. Identify biases and perspectives that influence authors' message and readers' interpretations. Analyze literary techniques and structures to appreciate authors' craftsmanship and intentional choices. Connect text to real-life issues, making literature more relatable and impactful. Appreciate diverse viewpoints, promoting empathy, inclusivity, and more nuanced understanding of complex issues. By applying critical approaches, readers can transform their reading experience into a rich, thought-provoking exploration literature and society.